Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Nicole Russo. Welcome to Spa Babies. Our Spa Baby race for Friday, September the 1st kicks off the $1 pick six. 2-year-olds going a mile. Let's take a look at this field of maiden special weights. It's a $136,500 purse. So we're coming out of the chute, Nicole, which means these 2-year-olds are going to take a hard left after about a furlong or so.
Yeah, it's sort of a 1.5 turn configuration out of that chute as they start to step up in distance here. As you said, a hard left turn, a long run down the backstretch. And some of these horses are coming out of races where they faced really good competition. So I think one of the keys to handicapping this race will not only be who you think can get the distance, but how you've evaluated various maiden races throughout the meet.
10 entered in the body of the race. The 11, Don Vino Vici, isn't also eligible. We have a $1 million baby, the number 10, Tornado Road, making his debut at 12-1 on the morning line. Speed in the rail, though, a good combination. And the 1, Arteta, should show speed as he stretches out off a 5.5 furlong sprint. That was a really good race run by a very promising 2-year-old in Pirate. And Arteta showed brief speed. He is a son of Take Charge Indy. I think the mile will be fine.
I think the mile will be in his wheelhouse. And as you said, he finished behind Pirate, the half brother to National Treasure, who is likely to be favored in the hopeful and closing weekend. The runner up was Just Steel, who came back to win at this meet, and we'll discuss him more in a moment. George Weaver on fire with his young horses this summer. I think this one should be able to work out a good trip from the rail under Manny Franco. That being said, it's fascinating that the most recent work here in his past performances looks like, on paper, a very good work on the turf on August 21st. I would be curious to see what our colleague Mike Walsh has to say about that in the Daily Clocker report.
Trainer Ken McPeak has 2 first-time starters entered in this race, including the number 2, Golden Plate. This is a son of the great Tappet, sold for $350,000 as a yearling. There's a lot of sprint and mile ability and some solid workouts here. Dylan Davis takes them out.
Yeah, and as you said, a lot of sprint ability, a lot of precocity in the immediate family there. You see there the second dam, a 2-year-old graded stakes winner going this mile trip. That is Chimichurri, who won the Tempted at Aqueduct, came back to be a multiple graded place dirt sprinter at 3. But there's some stamina here as well. This is also the immediate family of Canadian Horse of the Year Wonder Gadot, who won 2 legs of the Canadian Triple Crown, and of Grade 1 winners Hard Not to Love and Secret Vice.
Trainer George Weaver has 2 in here. The 1, Arteta, with experience. The 3, Sturdy, a first-time starter by first crop sire Mitoli. This is a $200,000 yearling purchase out of a half-sister to a graded stakes-winning sprinter. There is some sprint ability top and bottom.
Top and bottom for sure. Mitoli, no surprise that his runners are showing speed. He was the champion sprinter himself. He's a top 5 freshman sire by earnings at this point of the season with 9 winners to date. Again, another one for George Weaver, who's having a very good year with his 2-year-olds. This one has a nice longer work tab, which I think is key for debut starters, especially as we get into longer distances. And I would expect this one to show some speed with how it looks like he's been training.
Javier Castellano takes the mount on the 3, Sturdy. The 4 is Hamilton's Way. This is a second-time starter trained by Ray Handel, a son of Constitution, who sold for $250,000 as a yearling. The dam was a Grade 3 stakes winner on synthetic. I have a feeling this colt's going to appreciate a little extra distance, even though he just didn't do much in his debut. Katie Davis aboard.
Yeah, it comes out of a good debut that the aforementioned Just Steel came back to win after running second to Pirate, locked another one in this field coming out of that race. I happened to be standing near Ray Handel on the rail that day, and he said, hey, this horse is going to be way better second time out. And he's come back and worked well since, indicating that that might be the case. Katie Davis gets the mount. She's really moving her horses up this summer, having a terrific Saratoga meet with the opportunities she's gotten, including running third in the Forgo on Saturday behind 2 great horses in her first Grade 1 appearance.
The number 5 is Locked, who finished ahead of Hamilton's Way in this debut for Todd Fletcher. The son of Gunrunner was sort of pinched at the start, had a lot of work to do on the turn, split horses with a 3-wide bid, gets to the outside, and is really running on in the last furlong or so. And it seemed that Jorge Ortiz asked him for another 16th after the race was over. Just a horse that might appreciate a little bit more ground, and I'd expect a better start.
Definitely. If this horse gets a better start, he's right there. I loved Locked that day. That was our Spa Baby race that day. And when he broke out of the gate, I thought, oh dear, he's going nowhere. And then he really came on well in the lane. I think Gun Runner over this female family is a great cross. It combines speed and stamina, speed that can be carried a mile or longer. Earned an eye-catching 81 buyer with that first start. The distance is not my concern. It's I hope he gets the pace set up. He'll need pace to rally into, had good pace up front going 6 furlongs. Now they're stretching out to a mile, but I do think some of these horses could get tired after that long run down the backstretch and around the turn and come back to him here.
The number 6 is Drum Roll Please. This is a Pennsylvania-bred son of Hard Spun, trained by Brad Cox. Sort of an even debut effort, but he caught a sloppy track that day. This is a $250,000 yearling out of a multiple stakes winner. I think you can give him a little bit of a mulligan for that debut, and considering these connections and subsequent fast works, it's fair to expect a better performance.
Absolutely. Another one who came out of that debut and, as you just said, worked well. And I love seeing that from a young horse after a start or two, that they work well, the light bulbs coming on, they weren't put off by the experience, which can be a little overwhelming for young horses. Faced a very good field in that debut. The winner, Sees the Gray, came back to be third in the Skidmore. Runner-up Dornock, the full brother to Mage, was second in the Sapling last weekend. And the third place finisher, Global Perspective, came back to win a maiden at Saratoga.
The 7 is Flashy Fast, the other Ken McPeak trained first-time starter. This is a son of Not This Time. Very good, with his 2-year-old first-time starters clicking at 21% winners. The dam is a half-sister to a Grade 3 stakes place sprinter named Savoy Special. There is speed and precocity in this family. Junior Alvarado takes them out. Interesting that they're going to debut him at a mile.
Very interesting, but here's another one I think with a nice longer work tab, and this one's got a blend of speed and stamina in the pedigree. You see all that speed and precocity in the female family. Not This Time, a terrific young sire. He was a good 2-year-old. He obviously sires good 2-year-olds, including Grade 1 winner Princess Noor and others, but then had a champion last year in classic placed Epicenter who won the Travers Stakes, so distance has not been an issue.
Speaking of a long work tab, the number 8, Right to Vote, has been in steady training, steady breezes at Saratoga since the middle of May for trainer Chad Brown, a $200,000 yearling by first crop sire Vino Rosso, out of a half-sister to a couple of graded stakes winners, Mocat, Frolic's Dream. It's a versatile pedigree. Got to figure this colt's going to be fit for Chad Brown and Flavien Prat.
Absolutely, especially you see the 5 furlong works on the tab there, and we talk about how we always love seeing that with a debut starter. Vino Rosso, third on the freshman earnings list right now, has the Wine Steward, who's a multiple stakes winner, already sprinting. It surprised me that the Vino Rossos were this good this early. I thought he had great potential as a sire, but I really thought we'd have to wait until the late summer and fall for them to get distance opportunities to really emerge. So certainly I'm even more enthusiastic about these horses now. And he's already had a winner at this mile on the main track this meet in an off the turf race.
The number 9 is Resilience. Beautiful pedigree. This is a son of multiple champion sire Into Mischief, out of a half-sister to a couple of Grade 1 stakes winners on the turf. The second dam was a multiple Grade 1 stakes winner on grass. And while Into Mischief is an excellent juvenile debut stallion, I wonder if this colt's going to appreciate a little bit of a surface switch down the road.
You would think that looking at the female family, and certainly Into Mischiefs can run on anything, as he has Grade 1 winners on both the turf and the dirt. That being said, I think it's interesting that Irad Ortiz, the leading rider, gets aboard this one for the debut after a big recent work.
Tornado Road completes the body of the field. He's trained by Wayne Lucas. He only sold for $1.15 million as a yearling. This son of Quality Road is a half-brother to a pretty good sprinter in Caribbean Caper. The dam, though, is a stakes place router. There's plenty of distance ability on the bottom side of the pedigree. Much improved quick workouts the last couple for Tornado Road, who's going to have to work out a trip from a difficult outside post going 1.5 turns.
Very difficult, especially as you said, with that kind of hard left turn into the backstretch. But Wayne Lucas is just loaded with 2-year-olds this meet, trains the aforementioned Just Steel and Sees the Gray. This one was a 7-figure yearling, as some of his clients were very aggressive in the yearling market. Only shows on the past performances here 6 workouts on the tab, although the most recent is a strong 4 furlong move, and he does have some good 5 furlong moves there.
Keep an eye on this one. If not on Friday down the road, the Lucas second-time stars have really been hitting
Mhm.
on all cylinders this year. Don Vino Vici is the also eligible. He would have a tough spot in here as he was well beaten in a maiden auction in his career debut. Let's take a look at our top selections for Friday's Spa Baby race. Luck looked really good finishing up in his debut for Todd Pletcher. He got a very respectable buyer speed figure this day. And as you mentioned, Nicole, if he breaks better, he can get closer to the pace. And I have a feeling he's still going to finish up well despite stretching out in distance.
Yeah, and as I said, the key to this race for me was kind of evaluating where these horses came from and the competition that they've faced. Honestly, very tight between my top 2 here, but I loved Locked on his debut day, and I loved how he ran after I thought he had no chance down the backstretch. I think he faced a solid field, and he'll step up to this mile easily and hopefully have some horses coming back to him. Ultimately, I did stick with him because I felt so good about him after that race, but I did come very close to putting drumroll please on top because I think overall, top to bottom, the field he faced was maybe stronger. Those are my top 2. Behind them, I'll try to find some prices with Hamilton's Way coming out of the same debut as Locked, and one first-time starter in Right to Vote who should relish the mile.
I'm with you on your top 2 selections, the 5 and the 6. The 6 might offer a little bit more value, but I was really taken with Locked. Underneath, I'm going to use a couple of first-time starters. The Tapit Colt with a good inside post, the 2 Golden Plate, and Resilience, who has that strong pedigree, maybe a little bit tilted towards grass, but you can never count an Into Mischief out. 5-6-4-8 for Nicole, 5-6-2-9 for me. And our Friday Spa Baby race kicking off the $1 pick 6. Good luck.